feeling very lost in the world, feeling very lonely. I did have friends, but I thought I didn't have friends for some strange reason, as I look back now. And I said to one of my friends, shall we try doing this? Shall we have a conversation? And it just spread. And as I did it, other people wanted to get involved. And it was a friend of a friend of a friend. And these circles that I felt were very small started just expanding and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it seemed to, these conversations seemed to resonate with people. And I've met so many wonderful people doing many different things in many different fields. And I love doing it. So here we are. And I owe a lot of gratitude to Helen Rollason. I don't know if you guys know a little bit of my backstory, but my wife had cancer 4 or 5 years ago for the 3rd time, and at that time it was that point of COVID where we had to separate, and where it was hard for us to be part of the world, and to look for places of support was very difficult. And it was you guys that came in and gave us that backup and gave us that support that friends and family couldn't give at the time because of COVID. So I have a lot of gratitude towards you, and I am hugely grateful. And I honestly don't think we'd have made it through without you.
And to be fair, I think talking is one of the main things that are good, and actually part of our services are that, because a lot of our coffee mornings are about getting people together to speak and to know that there's a community and people there that have either been through it or that can help them. And so this ties in really well with what we do.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about. It's giving that sort of safe space for people to be themselves and to not have to put on a brave face if they don't want to. Is what it's all about.
Yeah, I came in here. I think coming here was a spark for me doing this. In fact, if I go back further than actually starting this, I came in here for a coffee with someone, for a chat, because I was really finding it a struggle at home. And coming back out into the world, and I was invited in here. My wife actually kicked me in here. Said,
I think that's often the case.
Where I was thinking, I'm brave, I'm strong, I can get through this. But the truth and the reality was, I wasn't.
And you haven't got to do it alone. I mean, that's the thing. People kind of feel that they shouldn't tell anybody and they can handle it. Why? Why have you got to do that? You haven't.
Why have we got to carry that weight on our shoulders alone? We do have a community of people here willing and able to help and point you in the right direction, and maybe just an ear to listen.
I think that's often it. That's often what people need the most, that they can come here and they can talk about how they really are feeling, what's actually happening. I think particularly sometimes for the carers like yourself, so the person who's supporting someone with that diagnosis, you have to always be the person who's kind of supporting them and being brave and maybe not letting your shield down because you don't want them getting upset. And actually, you can come here and you don't have to be like that.
Because you need somebody to sound off to, or you need that emotional support yourself, don't you? So
and coming together, it's often sharing kind of tips and hints as well is one of the key things. One of our clients at Hatfield Peveril always tells this story of how she told somebody about that they could have a port fitted and they didn't realise, and actually that really changed everything for them because they'd been having lots of problems before with kind of PICC lines and things not working properly for them. And it's those little kind of tips that just come out of those natural kind of conversations that people don't realise as well.
And it's an informal setting, it's non-clinical. Your story of how you first came to the centre resonated with me because one of our clients told me just last week that it feels like a club. It's somewhere where everyone belongs. And I do see that people come just on the off chance, or they come with someone and they stay engaged, especially partners as well, because when your partner or a family member is diagnosed with something, you don't say, yes, I'm a carer now. You often don't realise you're a carer until you've been one for some time, and someone says, oh, there's their carer or something, and you think, that's me. And it's important as well to cater for those people because they need us too.
And as well, they're very often juggling the other bits.
Everybody else.
Clients.
The children.
She's got 7 children, and then the husband's really poorly. She's had to give up her job, and then you know, she's a bit lost with what is my label. You know, we all have labels of what your roles are, and she's trying to juggle it all. So we're just somebody who's so easily. Luckily she lives in the village, so she can just pop in.
And she's a great supporter. I mean, she comes to like when we have our tea, Helen, and coffee mornings at the Hatfield Pebble Centre. She's always coming in for those. She ran the marathon last year for the charity.
She came along to a quiz night we had. And, I mean, she has everybody near enough sobbing. But they've got a lot of comical with it as well. Like she brings in a bit of lightheartedness plus the tears, because she's all about you've got to live it now and do things, and the jokes they even play on their dad. You know, it's quite. But I think we've helped bring that bit of humour, hopefully, because she can see that other people have gone through it and come out the other side, or at least coping with things. So I think that's the thing.
From my experience, I see you guys bringing life back into the situation at this very dark moment where people are struggling and death is potentially looming over us. I felt like that. I felt like death was following me around everywhere that I went. And, you know, being able to connect with other people made that shift, push that to one side for a moment.
I think when people get that diagnosis, sometimes, like you're saying, they sort of jump from that diagnosis suddenly to the very end. And actually, there's a lot that happens in between that you need to kind of live and enjoy. And I think it's making people sort of take a step back sometimes to help them process that information is really important.
Like you say, I think particularly with doctors and things, they always now give you worst case scenarios, well, don't they? And actually, thankfully, a lot of people do have a good quality of life for quite a while, and I think that's where we support it. And I think even wasn't it Catherine was talking about, you know, Princess Catherine, where was she saying? I don't know what her title is, but she was saying that she'd had a, you know, kind of been told she's better, kind of on the road to recovery, and I think she'd even start having treatment still, you know, sort of these sort of therapies that help her through her day-to-day things to process, because it's such a shock to being diagnosed with something that's potentially life-threatening, and you're expected, oh, you're okay now, you're on your own, and we're then again that bit where actually, you know, you can carry on coming to us, or we've got the support groups, you know, and showing that actually it can stay away longer.
Because there's a lot of structure at that point when you're diagnosed, and you've got appointment, and you've got a treatment plan, and I think there isn't time to think at that particular point, and lots of people say that, and often they sort of go into these situations, the consultant has sort of told them what they need to do, and then suddenly at the end of it they realise, oh my gosh, I did all of that and I didn't really think about the consequence of it. And you know, with lots of the treatment, there's a lot of side effects that can come on years after you've had the radiotherapy that you don't necessarily realise, and that's again where having those groups is really important, to know that you're not alone, that other people go through that,
and that's normal.
And that's normal.
Yes.
And
it's a commonality as well that people find talking to each other when you're in that clinical setting. Someone is managing your treatment, your time, whereas when treatment ends, I was talking to one client who shared her story with us, and she was talking about when she finished her treatment she got lost. She thought, what do I do? And she had heard about our charity. She nurses had advised her to contact us, but she made the call at the end of her treatment, and she had a chat on the phone. She came in and she's been coming ever since, and she's now a huge advocate of what we do, because the service is there, holistic, and it's about healing as well. It's about healing the body, healing the mind, and living with cancer.
This is really, everything you're saying is resonating with me so much, because there was this life before the diagnosis. My wife got, she had this illness, but it affected all of us as a family, and so the life before it kind of ended, that finished, and then there was this moment of going through that, and then a restart of something new. Now, for me personally, that I'm at a point where that's all worked out really nicely, and life is good again. But there are still some hangovers with the psychological effects of that as well, for all of us as a family.
And the check-in, you know, after a certain time, people then got to be checked again. You know, it's that waiting, isn't it? And that
scanxiety, of waiting to find out what's going to happen. And not knowing. I think it's all those unanswered questions, isn't it?
Which again is what we try to do. You know, we try to bring a different approach to it and not be clinical. Our whole thing is to be a normal kind of home environment. I think that's the main thing that everybody needs.
And it's a lovely space, isn't it? The centre is a calm space. It doesn't feel like a hospital. You don't feel like you're having treatment in the sense of having cancer treatment. It's very positive.
Yeah.
It's about benefits. It's about healing. It's about hope, isn't it, as well?
And it, it can just be somewhere you come and sit and have a cup of tea, and you don't have to talk to anybody if you don't want to.
It can be a space to come and just be.
Particularly if you're, at home with family and you just want to come away from that for a bit, then it can be that kind of space that you might need. And there's so many different things that you can sort of take part in terms of those support groups. They're not all necessarily chat ones, because some people actually don't want to come and necessarily sit and talk. There's other activities that we run, like we've recently last year had a number of craft and sort of art workshops that we had, which were really well received, which we're really lucky because we've got some funding from the David Randall Foundation to be able to provide those. And they've been great because people are coming to do something creative. They're completely involved in that activity, and the conversation then sometimes happens much more naturally. With sometimes I think people worry that if they have to sit around and talk, they don't necessarily feel comfortable at that particular point at doing that.
They don't understand to say my name is.
Exactly. It's not like that.
And not everyone wants to share this.
No,
story.
they don't.
Not everyone wants to go deeper into it, because it can be a big weight on us day to day, that story.
Exactly. You can still benefit from hearing about the experiences of others, knowing that you're not alone. I think a cancer diagnosis in the family, it's very, speaking from my own experience, it can be very isolating, and it's important to know that you're not the only ones. Other people are going through it, and they understand.
And I think that with our therapists, I mean, we speak to them because we see them when we're in, and you say to them, "Oh, we don't obviously know how the treatments that go," but they say, we're led by the client that comes in. So some want to talk about their cancer diagnosis or the treatment they go through, and others, they just want it to be day-to-day things, and like, what did you watch on television, or, and it can be within whatever anybody needs it to be for them. I think that's the other thing. It's not like
adaptable.
you come in and then they're going to say, right, so what are you going through? They're not. It's whether the person wants to speak about it. It's nothing to do with our therapy.
It's very much patient,
time for you.
client-led.
And as well, a lot of our ex-clients or people that have been through treatment or come to our coffee mornings, a lot of them volunteer for us. And actually, we have a lot in our office, and they help do things, or they help at events. And actually, you find out the real them, or what they used to, what they did as their jobs, or still doing as their jobs, and you find out the real person of who they are. But they've come in very handy, a lot of them. We have van drivers, we've then got people that lift things, we've got people that build furniture, but then people that help out in our shops. There's so many different ways that people then helped us. I feel like we've helped them a bit, and then they're like, well, they want to give back.
And they become real ambassadors then.
They do.
For us.
They really do. They really flow.
And without them, we wouldn't
function. We've got hundreds of volunteers who help via events in the centres, van driving, building furniture the other week here. They were doing
all of our events,
painting. We had so we've got people who do a whole sort of host of volunteering, and we couldn't function as a charity without that, because we wouldn't be able to afford to have staff that were paid to be able to do that. And we are incredibly grateful to everybody.
I think that's helps. Again about any money that we then make, it doesn't go really on the staff. We're all part-time staff. We all give more than what our hours are. Everybody does.
Definitely.
Because we want, there's things that we want to give back.
To do it, and I think this is the first job I've had where there is that level of motivation.
Well, you see the difference it makes. It doesn't take much.
No.
Wherever you are within the charity, whether you're working within the marketing or the services or the retail side of it, to see somebody who comes in who it makes a difference to. I can distinctly remember, I think probably for men we have to try and sort of change this viewpoint of what the centre is slightly. So I think it is seen stereotypically, but it is seen as sort of more of a female thing to kind of come and do. And I remember a gentleman who was coming to the centre here actually at Harlow, And he was a bit sceptical, it seemed, before his reflexology treatment that he was having. You could sort of see he wasn't really sure, probably being pushed into it by a wife maybe, or a partner. And then he had his treatment and he came out and you could just see this sort of change. He was sort of like, I thought it was a load of woo-woo, I remember him saying, but I feel amazing, like I'm kind of walking on air. When can I book in for my next treatment? You know, it made a complete difference. And I think if it's just sort of getting over that boundary of walking through that door sometimes is the biggest step, I think, for people to take. But you can kind of dip in to what works for you as well. You don't have to have reflexology. You don't have to have counselling. It might be actually that it's some of the groups that work, or it is, like we said, just popping
and
in.
even just some of it, like we've got our Tea for Helen events, so we have people that just come in and only have a piece of cake. I mean, how hard is that? So people quite like that, don't they? But then we have so many different events all year, whether you're into doing your fitness. So we have our Tea for Helen events, we have Ride for Helen, we have our vintage car and vintage events with live music and things like that. So you know, even if they come along to those sort of events, get to meet everybody, it actually helps them know what else is out there and what we can provide. And them attending those events, or anything that's paid for goes directly back into our charity. And we're not funded, we don't get any funding, so only if we manage to get some grants and things, but it takes quite a bit to get that. So it's all publicly funded, and we're so grateful for anything that comes through, and we know it goes directly back. A lot of the services are a reasonable price, so if somebody gave us £40, we know that that could be a reflexology treatment for somebody. That pays directly for that. And you know, it's a lot of money to keep raising for everybody, but directly from people, if they give that it can go directly into
it's a cycle. It all comes returns back.
Impact, and people who come into our centres, they can see the impact as well, and they tell us that, which is, I think, a really, really powerful message. But there are so many ways to support a charity. I mean, obviously, we are very grateful to anyone who can make a donation, but simply sharing our messages, sharing our social media posts, that really does help, because it spreads the word. It also lets more people know that we are here. We don't want anyone to ever need us, but we need to be here if they do, and we need them to know that we are here whenever they need us at any stage of the journey. Coming to an event, supporting an event. There are all kinds of events. You can have a jumper day for us. You can put us forward as charity of the year at your workplace. You can do an event for us. We have 15 people, running the London Marathon for us.
One of them being me.
Are you training?
I am.
Good.
And you've got people behind them as well, their friends, their family. So it does kind of snowball. It's about getting those messages out there. Even coming to one of our charity shops with a donation, having a browse, it really does all make a difference. And we see that every day.
We do.
And I've experienced that difference. Now, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know who Helen Rollason was before this diagnosis, before going through cancer. I didn't know about the charity. So how would you introduce yourselves to the world for anyone that needed you?
I mean, I think the charity obviously is founded in Helen Rollason's name. I am of a generation that I remember Helen Rollason as a female sports presenter.
First female
trailblazer. She was a trailblazer. I mean, I think now we sort of take that for granted because we've got
a lot of women
like Gabby Logan and others, haven't we, who are on our TVs a lot. But actually, at the time, she was really kind of ahead of her time. Really.
When was this?
In the 90s.
In the 90s.
Yes. So Helen Rollason passed away in right at the end of the 1990s.
1999, yeah. And so she was diagnosed with colon cancer, and she had the traditional kind of treatments through the hospital. But I think, again, she was ahead of her time because she recognised that it was the whole person that was important, and your well-being as a whole that you needed to also support. So it wasn't just having the treatment that the doctors had prescribed you. So she tried other complementary therapies, and that's what we want to be set up to basically maintain. So we're not clinical, we're not medical, we're supporting that well-being through our complementary therapies, like we said, in our counselling and our support groups, to kind of follow her legacy really of what she saw as important and what actually made a difference. She was initially, I think, given about 3 months to live, and she actually ended up living for a few years after she had
continuing
her,
to work.
continuing to
2
work
years,
right
didn't
up
she?
till the up pretty much to the end. She was continuing to
So
work.
she took her daughter to the World Cup in France in 1998, and she was told that she wouldn't see that. But I mean, obviously her professional legacy paved the way for women in sport, but she also championed disabled sport as well. She was very inclusive in her ethos and her mindset, and she was passionate about wellness, and the charity was set up in her name.
ahead of her time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
mental health
Yeah.
is discussed
Yeah.
now
Quite
without any
openly,
thought.
but it
Yeah.
wasn't
But
20
then-
No,
Yes.
it wasn't at all.
Yes.
You know, it was
And-
something you sort of kept yourself a lot more, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was.
Yes.
And I think, you know, potentially seeing a counsellor wasn't seen as a sort of more of a norm to be able to do
And
that.
discussing her diagnosis, we all
Yeah.
know that she
Yes.
was going through this treatment while on live TV. You know,
Yeah.
you knew that she was open about it, and I think, you know, I'm not saying that people have to tell people.
No.
You have to do what's right for you, but I think with her opening up, actually has made it easier for other people to open up or be a little bit more understanding. And workplaces, I'm presuming, are a little bit more supportive because of, you know,
And we
they're
can all
knowing that. And a
benefit
lot-
from those experiences, can't we? But when people share those experiences, that helps.
And I
everybody.
think,
Yeah.
unfortunately, there's, you know, 1 in 2 people are now diagnosed with cancer. So in workplaces and everywhere, unfortunately, there is going to be somebody at some point in their life that is going to need the support from their workplaces or from their families and things like that. So I think, you know, it's quite a good thing that she championed this to actually make everybody aware of it.
Yeah.
How do you think she would feel at this stage, seeing how far this charity has come and what you do in her name?
I would hope she would be proud of that it's still, you know,
Well, it's
25
years,
well,
isn't it?
25
Yeah,
years,
26.
26, that we're still kind of following her legacy, still trying to maintain that for as many people as we possibly
And
can.
her mission.
And
what
her
mission was,
yeah,
isn't it?
exactly.
Yes, and Helen Rollason lived in Essex as well. She lived in Shenfield,
Mhm.
so she's very much from Essex, from our area. So I love that we're having an impact in her. I won't say hometown because we help clients from all over Essex, so it isn't just there is no.
It's spreading. When
but
you're
it spreads
spreading a
around,
positive
and
message, you're
Exactly.
spreading a positive
exactly,
community.
and for people of our generation who do remember her seeing her, she presented Newsround.
She's from Newsround, yeah.
I mean,
know.
I think the thing is, it's about it would be her 70th birthday next year. Isn't
Yeah,
it? So
March
we're going to
the
do,
11th would be her 70th
we want to do a celebration of
Yes.
that,
Mhm.
and actually let people know who she was and why we do what we do and things.
Yeah.
Because I think, you know, it is key that what she started and hopefully what we're carrying on. And actually we're trying to look at even other ways of supporting, other new things that are out there that can help, isn't it? So we're always looking at the next, you know,
There's
something.
yeah, we're
What we
constantly
can
on the
do,
next,
yes.
the next event that might engage
Yes.
people
and
and
we're
get them
open
involved.
to volunteers saying what they might like to do, you know, clients what they might like to do,
Yes.
because, you know, we're actually there for our clients. So if there's something that's missing or that they feel they need, you know, we're open to the suggestions.
Yeah.
People bring their
those
skills,
things.
don't they? We
Yeah.
have one volunteer who volunteers at our men's group. We have one lady who runs our Wiggle and Giggle group on a Friday with her skill set as well. So people bring all kinds of value. I think probably between us all, it takes a village, and hopefully we are that village. But we do need to keep going.
Mhm.
As I say, at the moment we have got a Christmas appeal as well going on, and we
Do.
do because, you know, there's extra funding that we could do with. So we've got a few different things on. So, as I say,
Well, you can sign up to have your Christmas tree
Yes,
recycled.
yes,
So,
yes.
Okay.
so by making a donation, then we will collect your tree and recycle that for you. So that is going on all over Essex
Yes,
in
so
different
all-
areas.
From now
Yeah.
until I suppose Christmas,
Mhm.
people can
register
sign
their
up
tree, can't they?
to
Yeah.
have their tree collected. We are volunteers, and And us
All
as
of
well.
us.
We pick up the trees from households, and we are doing it with the support of people from all over our community. People are donating time, vans, a wood chipper. Someone is donating their land, which happens to be an alpaca farm. And alpacas eat Christmas trees. I didn't know.
So I was just about to ask, how does that help you then if you're collecting the Christmas trees? How does that benefit you as a charity?
Because you will make a donation to have that collected. So
Right.
people will make what they can afford. So it's not a set amount. So it will go, you know, like I say, from small quite up if people can give a little bit more.
We value every.
And then the trees are very often reused in an eco way as well. So and it
People
saves people going
wood
to the tip. It saves them with all the, you know, and just saw it up or whatever. We do that.
So our target is to raise £5,000 this winter, and that is the aim of our Christmas appeal. So we're asking people to take up those kinds of services to support our Christmas market, which takes place at Chelmsford Racecourse on the 30th of November, or if somebody is able just to make a donation, then obviously
raffle prizes, or
yes,
you know,
lots of
anything
ways,
really. You know, it's just nice if people are going to throw something out and they're happy to give it to us, or you know, even gifts later on if they get Christmas gifts and they don't really, you know, they've kind of got a lot of things already. Then,
filling up the cupboards at home.
We can use a lot of those things, you know. And that really helps. Like we have to make up really nice hampers when we have raffles, which have lovely bits in them, and that comes from people donating those. People donate those bits to us.
They do. Yes, they really do. And we have wonderful volunteers who package it up much nicer than I could. Yeah. So there's that as well, isn't there?
So have you any idea of how the translation of a donation then supports you and what that does for you? Let's say someone donates £5 or £10. How does that directly affect you?
Yeah, so like somebody donates £5, then that will help provide our refreshments if somebody attends one of our groups or comes into the centre. If you donate £10, then that's going to help towards funding a place at one of our support groups. A £40 donation would support somebody with a reflexology appointment or a counselling appointment. So that everything that somebody gives will be able to
have a direct
impact.
And probably one of our most expensive treatments is £75.
Yeah,
so
manual lymphatic drainage.
But you think, you know, in the scheme of what a year, or if people even have a collection of their coins and things, like we have collection tins that people could have, even just putting their odd change in it, you know,
every penny counts.
And it all adds up. I mean, we get quite good donations just in one tin. It's surprising what.
And especially people don't really carry cash anymore.
Yeah, and you know, people can hold like a tea, like they can have their own tea for Helen, where they invite friends, family, have it in their local schools, have it in their local village halls, their community groups, their scout groups. They can do a tea for Helen. They can bake a load of cakes, sell them off for donations, and those, you know, if lots of groups are doing that and they're raising maybe a couple of £100 as a group, or £100, that all together will add up.
But you can come up with your own fundraising. It could be crazy hair day, or we've got somebody who's shaving
their
their
hair.
hair.
Exactly. On the 12th
braid the
of
shave.
December, a lady is shaving her head, and so basically, you can fundraise any way you like. And whatever you want to do, we will support you. You will have the,
and we
the
are
support of our
finding
team.
that, particularly this time of year, we do get a lot more people come, because being happy at Christmas and you've got things going on, it's a trickier time for people. So hence again, we're doing the appeal, because this is the time of year that is really quite busy for us, and we get inundated, and we want to be able to help as many of those people as possible. We don't want to turn anybody away or make them have to wait. I think there's one man who wanted some treatment, and he's got to wait till February, because that's when we can fit him in. If we could get extra funding in,
you could
we
bring
could
that
bring
closer.
more.
Exactly.
We could make the appointment near a date, have it before Christmas. So all these little things, you know, that could really benefit a lot of people. And I think we're also getting a few, because I think some of the other charities or hospices, and I think even Macmillan, have been cut with some of the things they can provide, but we're getting that passed to us. So we're getting more people than we normally would have even got, because they actually now can't offer those services. So they're asking us, but obviously we need the funding.
So the
demand
demand is rising.
Yeah, definitely, and that's particularly the case for some things like our counselling, where it's been cut in other areas, where we will often take up those people who need that support, and we want to maintain providing all of our services for free to people who need it, and that's what we want. And obviously some people will make a donation, but not everybody can, particularly if you've been diagnosed with cancer and then you can't work. You know, it's a scary time for people, so they need to know that they can come here and they don't have to worry about having to pay for those services, or have the guilt that should I be. We don't want that. We want people to be able to maintain coming here, but for us to do that, we do rely on of those donations coming in, and we have the capacity, like you were saying about bringing those appointments closer. If we could, you know, employ further therapists, we have the capacity to do that, but we obviously we are restricted by the funding that we have.
But also we've got Amazon wishlist, so we have an Amazon wishlist that. Because we need towels.
Towels, yeah. We get through a lot of towels.
And it's like, well, actually, if someone could buy us a couple of towels,
Yeah.
and then that's sent to us. You know, we've got different things on there. I mean, some of it's a bit random, but it is daily things that we use that then means it doesn't come out of the pot that we'd like to treat people and look after people. It's bought for us, you know, via that. So there's so many different ways that people can help, and it doesn't, as I say, have to cost a lot.
No.
And just any way anyone can help, but just contact us if there's any way.
And I'll make sure that we add links in the bottom of this conversation so people can reach out to you. And
like
we always want to talk to anybody who just any way we can help as well. So the manual lymphatic drainage, I was speaking to one of our clients last week, and she was talking about the difference it's made. So she has something called lymphedema following chemotherapy, where the fluid isn't draining properly because lymph nodes have been removed. Did I explain that right? And she talked a lot about how it was something that she knew nothing about before, didn't know it could happen, didn't know what the effect would be, and she wanted to educate people as to what it is and why people need it. So we do have wonderful ambassadors working for us as well, and we're so grateful for everything. But and that's what keeps us going, isn't it? Really?
And sometimes people have got a skill, and they can come in and use that for us. Like maybe they're a carpenter and they can help with building something for us. You know, we try and get as much as we can, you know, without it costing anything. Like our kind of garden that we've got at our other site, everything was basically got for free for people either donating time, resources, or you know, building it for us. And that's what we do, try to make sure that we can.
We're very community-led, aren't we?
We are,
For example, we have a group called the Knitters and Stitchers, and they, exactly as it sounds, they will make us blankets, cushions, beautiful patchwork quilts. I think that they're making some pet coats as well, and we can then sell those at our events to raise money for our charity. So it's very much a community effort, and we draw from all different sections as well, and people want to get involved.
I think
people stay engaged as well.
We want the community involved, because actually it's the community that we're going to give back to.
Exactly.
So if we can all work together, and we really would like local businesses to get a bit involved. We've got a new Helen Business Hero section, so that businesses, small to medium sized or large businesses, can pay £250. That money will help go towards some services. They'll get a certificate to say that they're helping us for the year. We can do links on site, on our websites and things. So we kind of support them. They help with their corporate responsibility, but people that probably work in their workplaces are likely to then use our services at some point, or one of their relatives. I mean, they always say, you know, you probably have known somebody who has used our services within that community,
or has needed our services,
needed them and didn't know they were there, or couldn't get to them. So I think, you know, that we really would like businesses to try and get a bit more involved with us, because we are competing with some really big charities, and they do get a bit of funding. They can obviously market it on the television, radio. I know we're doing this podcast today, but you know, for a lot of it, we just can't put the money into that, because we want to give it back to
to the people,
Yeah.
to the people,
And
right?
And that's why we value the power of our ambassadors so much, because they just keep on flying our flag and pushing our messages. It's
With and companies can come in and volunteer. Like I said, on Friday we had Bank of England. We had some volunteers coming in to do their painting and decorating. So we have volunteers who will come in and do that for us as well as part of their kind of corporate volunteering days, which really helps support
and they
us.
enjoy it, don't they? They
do,
get so
they
much
do,
out of it as well, and it's a great way to introduce people to what our charity does, because they've all got families, they have networks. Someone may well need
Well, they help
us.
out at our event days. We were lucky enough to have the Chancellor City Ladies' Day event, and obviously we're allowed to take collection tins and things, but so there's only so many stops. It's not many of us. And a corporate came along, and honestly, the amount we raised, but because they were able to wander around, speak with people, and they took that time out of their day to do that, it just made it easier. They spread the word for us as well, letting people know about it, and we managed to meet hundreds of people, so it's not always them having to do loads of really horrible jobs. They can go have a day out.
It's
not a horrible job. No, lovely job. No manual work.
You tend to say how much they enjoy it, don't they? People stay engaged as well. Once people come to us, whether as a client, as a volunteer, as an ambassador, they tend to stay with us, which is, again, it's another reason why we need to keep on making.
It sounds to me like you're building connections with people. So you think it might be quite hard to go out there on the street and raise some money, but actually while you're out there, it's quite an enjoyable experience, isn't it? Connecting with people and talking to them and telling them what you do and finding out about them.
Well, like you're a prime example of that. You've met people and been talking and built such a audience, and I think that's kind of, we take the same path.
And if while we're out there with a bucket, or that we've got an ambassador, it can just touch one person who then finds out about us, who comes and supports them, and says we've done our job.
It really is.
I find that when I go out dressed like this and I start celebrating people, they want to talk to me, they want to share their stories, they want to know what we can do. They might have heard of our charity, but they don't really know the details, so I take that opportunity, and I think people think of me as perhaps a safe person to talk to as well sometimes, which is great.
Yeah, that's a wonderful position to be in. But I'd like to go back to that numbers thing. We do get wrapped up in the numbers, don't we? We get wrapped up in have we connected with 10,000, 20,000, 1 million people. Actually, doing something for just one is a massive thing.
But it isn't one. It's the people who are supporting them as well, and then they might tell someone else who needs us. Going to an appointment, talking to people at the appointment. So you might think, I talked to one person today, but
it's a ripple effect.
Yes, the ripple effect, the butterfly effect. It's likely to be much stronger.
I mean, that's quite lucky. We service a lot of people already,
we do,
don't we? 1,500 is it? We do a year.
So of the clients that will come through, and we had over 900 new clients last year that came through our doors. So that's a lot of people that we're managing to see. We've got centres. So we've got our centre in Hatfield Peveril. We've also got a centre where we are today in Harlow. And then we also work out of the Spire in Brentwood and the Spire in Southend. So I think sometimes people think that's only open to people who are having private healthcare treatments, but actually our clients can access those appointments as well. So that we're kind of geographically trying to kind of cover different pockets to make sure that people can access our services. And some of our activities are online. So we have a yoga group that is runs fortnightly, which is an online group. So that's great because and our counselling as well can be online or by telephone. So if you do have appointments that you're trying to fit things between, or you're not quite feeling well enough to go out, or you don't want to risk coming into contact with somebody and potentially picking up an infection when you know that your immunity is down, you can access activities remotely as well, which works well for people.
So tell me a little bit about what's happening right now. It's Christmas. I know we're about to have a Christmas event. Tell me a little bit about how you're supporting your communities at the moment.
Well, let's start. Yeah, I mean,
I know Father Christmas is going to visit.
Father Christmas is visiting. So this Sunday we've got our Christmas fair, which is taking place at Chancellor Racecourse, which Helen has mentioned. So that's a really big event where we've got lots of local stallholders, we have music, dancing,
different foods.
foods. Yeah.
It's a day out, isn't it? It's a lovely,
out,
lovely day out.
And ticket prices at the moment on an early bird discount until Friday, till this Friday, which I think is the 28th.
Yes, it is.
So
yes.
you can get a bit of money off each of those tickets, but every ticket sold, that money comes directly, all proceeds to that will come to Helen Rollason Cancer Charity. And stallholders obviously book their stalls, so that's come to us. So any funding from that will come directly to us.
Yes.
And then, but as well, it's a good, as I say, nice day out. We've got
We've
got different choirs, we've got ballet dancers.
And you can do your Christmas shopping.
Yeah. And pick up some different bits and bobs that you might not get.
Unique handmade things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And then we've got our Father Christmas experience, which is coming up on the 19th of December, which is over at Leomani, and I think that's quite a nice event for us because it's slightly different because it appeals to families and younger children. And it was our first year that we did it last year, and it was really magical. It's a magical setting anyway. It's like it's an absolutely beautiful place to go to. And we have
it's not a castle, it's like an old house.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's
a Tudor house.
Yeah, lived in as well.
Yeah.
And it's run for sort of they have it for functions and weddings as well, at other points in the year. But it's set up in their beautiful kind of barn that we have it in. Twinkly lights,
It's beautiful.
Storytelling we have and crafts.
And
There was a donkey, wasn't there?
Yeah, donkeys, ride on the double-decker bus with smells.
Yes,
So
A lot of elves around.
yeah, exactly.
Elves are great.
And then obviously meeting the big man himself.
I know.
So yeah, that was a really lovely. So we're running that again this year, which again, you can get those tickets online, and then every child will leave with a gift.
But there's
as well.
face painting, there's craft. It's not just you turn up,
No.
see Father Christmas.
And-
We make the whole time there
people
special.
spent hours there
Yeah.
last
We
year. I
call
think
it
longer
the
than we
Father
thought.
Christmas experience,
Yeah.
don't we? Because we want to give that experience, and I think it's quite unique, isn't it? I mean, I've got 3 children. I've done this a lot. I haven't been to anything as amazing as this. Like,
Yeah.
right.
No, it was. I think quite a lot of us having been through it ourselves
Yes.
as parents.
We know the pitfalls, don't
Yeah,
we?
we do.
There'll
So
be
we
more
know what
wine
not
and
to
then
do.
pie for the adults.
that's
And we
important.
have a real Father Christmas as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
Well, I attended last year and I saw the event, and it was something different to other things that you're getting. It was almost like a little Christmas escape.
You don't feel like a one-way tour as such,
No,
do you? Like
no.
sometimes, it's in and out.
There were
You're
quite
on
a lot of
conveyor
these.
belts,
There are a lot
so,
of these
yeah.
tours appearing where you go round a
Yeah,
conveyor
yeah.
belt and you go on a route, and they're quite nice.
Yes.
But this is something where you can go to this place for half a day or a day, and you can experience Christmas there with your family and take your time as you go round and have fun together.
And I say the setting just makes it. It's just so magical, and I think the lights and things all in it. It's just beautiful. So
Yeah.
So we've got very excited about Father Christmas. If you can.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking
So,
forward to
yeah.
attending again.
So we've got that obviously running again, which like I said appeals to sort of more the family side of it, and then
Christmas trees.
then we've got our Christmas
Which
trees,
we
which run,
discussed.
and I think actually
Yes.
that's quite good because sometimes over that period where people have maybe been on their own a bit, quite often, things do tend to shut down, and it just gives people that chance to reconnect as well. So if they're going out on the road collecting trees, or they're at one of our locations where they're kind of processing the trees and chipping them or loading them, I think that's quite nice because it's a good atmosphere. It's a good kind of community spirit. Everyone gets together, don't they? People bake cakes, have bacon rolls before they go out. Go out.
We try and make it as
as
pleasant
well.
as we
We
do.
do, and I think exactly.
Actually, I think it is. Everybody's in a bit of that middle ground, isn't it? From January can be a bit, but actually you've got a reason to get going.
Yeah.
Go and get all the trees. Visit different areas. Spread the word a bit more about us as well. But I think it's just quite comical. Some of the trees. I think one tree was huge, and I think they didn't know how they were even going to get that in the van. But I think that just makes it more fun.
Yeah.
Part of the adventure.
I think they also have had trees that are still in the living room window that they're meant to have collected
Yeah,
as well.
that's
They're
right.
still dressed and looking
Yeah,
at
some
it.
people do need to remember to put them
Take-
out for
Yeah.
us.
Take the
because we-
decorations and
We
lights
don't,
off.
yeah, we
We
don't
can't
take
come
that.
and do that as well. No, put it all back in the loft properly. So then we've got that, and then it will be sort of our Easter event. So we've got
Yes.
our Tea for Helen event that we've got. It's kind of a bit in the making at the moment.
Well,
We've
yes,
got a
so
lot of
it's a
ideas coming up.
springtime event. So Helen Rollason's 70th birthday
Mhm.
is on the 11th of March, and we want to use the occasion to just to celebrate her life and her legacy. You know, she had such a remarkable life, very short life. She was only 43 when she died. I suppose we were quite young, so she seemed older, but she was 43. And her daughter had just taken her GCSEs. So it's about everything she achieved. For example, she trained as a PE teacher, and then she moved into broadcasting, and then as you said before, she anchored Grandstand as the first ever female presenter to do that. She has the BBC Sports Personality of the Year award in her honour as well, and that tends to be given to someone who has overcome adversity as well, which is very much in line with what she did and what she believed in. She was a big champion of disabled sport. So it's about remembering her life and her legacy, why we're here, why we do what we do. We also want to use it to bring people together. So yes, we're having some afternoon tea events. They're not just in March, it's a springtime thing. So
And you can again
yes.
fundraise how you like. If you want to do a sports event
You
or
can
something
do a
within
sports
that,
event.
or something.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
I'm very lucky. Some of the WIs, the Women's Institutes, have picked up on this, and they're going to do a sports-themed afternoon tea. And I think I'm invited to some as well, so I'll be able to tell you all about it. But yes, so
That's the only
we're
thing
going
we
to
end up
have
with a lot of
things like
cake.
maybe a toss, perhaps.
Yeah. But maybe your
And
sports
Saturdays.
day,
Yes,
Yeah.
you can
exactly,
tailor it
yes.
around that as
Yes.
well.
And
Exactly.
Because our next event as well after that will be our Ride for Helen, which will
Yes.
be the 12th year it's going to run. And we do that from the Cricks in Hatfield Peveril, and we've got different. Well, you've done these.
I've
as
done
well.
it. But you
It
can sign
goes
up for
from-
lots of different. You can have a 6 mile,
6
which you can
mile.
do with your family. I did it with my. How old was he when I did it?
Yeah, not very old, was he?
6, I think
Yeah.
he was. I did that one with him. So you can do the 6 mile, 15,
15,
30,
50,
60.
65 and 100.
Wow.
And everyone gets a medal, and actually the atmosphere there is great
Yeah.
because there's food to be had, there's entertainment
And again,
again,
it's a
so
family
people
experience.
take off at different times, and it's just a way of getting everybody involved. So the 6 mile children can, we've had little tiny ones cycle that, and we usually have sort of as we had the mayor giving out medals at one point, so we normally have somebody a bit special there as well who kind of makes the event a bit more exciting.
And I think it's-
just us.
yeah.
Medals, we will have somebody a bit more.
And there are serious riders, obviously, who are doing the longer 100-mile distances. But I think what's quite nice is if you do those, like my son did it with some of his school friends. So the year before last, a group of them. So it was the parents. So the parent and the child, and they went and did the 15-mile route together. And it was really nice because I think sometimes people are a bit nervous as well about cycling on some of the roads, and actually when you're doing it in an event where it's
all signposted,
it's all
Yeah.
signposted,
marshals,
people,
and
yeah,
things,
you've got that support there as well, which is really nice to get up.
Gets children away from, we all say they're on their gaming
Screens
too
too much,
too much screen time, but to go out on a bike and on a bike ride, and we've been lucky with the weather. So fingers crossed for this year or next year. But it's a nice day out, and that helps with a lot of the fundraising
Yes,
throughout
it
the year.
supports
That's one
our
of our
charity.
big charity
And
events.
also, you're raising awareness, by talking. If you're taking part in any event in any capacity, whether you're running or cycling or supporting or baking a cake or whatever, just by talking about what you're doing, that really does help us.
The thing is, we also have water stops throughout the locations. So if people are cycling about, we very often have a little bit of food and a drink and things they can stop and have, which then means other villages and other areas within Essex get involved, because obviously the 100 mile in particular, that's
It's a big
quite
way,
a
yeah.
long way. So it helps a lot of other communities get involved, you know, although it starts in Hatfield Peveril, because that's where one of our centres is, but it's where our patron lives, so he kindly gives us his land and his wherever his home is for us to have the event there every year. So that it's run from there, but the whole community is then involved because of all the locations that everybody visits.
Yeah, it's a really good event. That one it's really enjoyable to do. Both I've done it slightly longer and I've done it as a family side of it, and both of them have been equally.
And as a cheer squad, I mean, I was at the finish line and all the children done banners for like parents coming across the line.
It's lovely when you cycle back through and you've got people cheering and
clapping.
It's just as important as getting involved.
Everybody who crosses the line gets a cheer.
And everyone feels like they're part of it as well.
And on that route, because I remember doing one of the longer ones and I was definitely flagging at the end, so I really did think it take it. My bottom was sore, my legs breaking. And I remember on one of the stops, I remember them going, "You can do it! Come on, you can make it through." And it does give you that boost, which is really nice.
So how do we get involved with something like that then? So this sounds really interesting to me. I'd like to get involved. How do we take part?
There's different ways. So firstly, you can cycle on one of the events.
Yeah.
Just turn up.
No, you'll book it online.
Okay.
So it's already online, so you can book now for any of these events. They're all on our website, and the price it's about £25. I think. Can't really think off the top of my head, but per person to ride. I think if you've got children, you can get a couple of children within it. We have an early bird at the moment anyway, so if people buy them now, they'll get it cheaper until the event. So you can take part in one of the events, and you can book that online. Other ways you can get involved is you can be a volunteer. So you can volunteer being either a marshal, or you can help set up the event prior, because we have to go out and put all the signs down. Take down and put up signage of arrows of where things are. We obviously have food donations, drinks donations, because we then have those at our water stops.
Yeah, and at the end you'll get a snack and a drink when you finish.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we have that always being provided by donations. So any of that is great in the way of helping.
Yeah, and if you're interested in volunteering, then just calling in to the centre, like phoning the centre. You can drop an online web inquiry. We've got a form on there that you can put an inquiry if you're interested, or you can email in, and then somebody will get in touch really. So there's lots of
ways to get in touch.
2026 is going to be very, very busy. There's going to be something for everybody. And so all the information is on our website, as you said, helenrollason.org.uk, and also via our social media. If you follow us on socials, all the information is there, and we update that regularly. Or just call us. We're really, really happy to help you.
Wonderful. I'd like to, one last question for you before we wrap this up. I'd like to go into the future a little bit, because we touched on that at the beginning of this conversation, that we're in a bit of an evolving world, aren't we? Things are changing all the time. I wondered what your hopes and dreams are for the future of Helen Rollason, what that looks like.
I feel like we can harness some of the advancements in, for example, technology to reach more people. I mean, I'm passionate about reach, I'm passionate about engaging people, and I firmly believe that the more people we can engage, let them know about our services, the bigger an impact we can have. That's what I hope to do.
Yeah, I would like, from my point of view, as support services, I would love for us to have more centres around Essex. That's my dream, is for us to have one in all of kind of the key areas of Essex, so that people can access all of the face-to-face and the online, so that they don't have to travel kind of longer distances to be able to do that. And
to fun more people.
And to fun more people, and to be able to go out into the communities potentially and offer those services as well. So that would be my kind of dream looking into the future.
Yeah, and I mean, ideally, we don't really want people to have to use our services. We don't want people to be in that, in that environment or having to need the treatments. But I think the way things are going, we're all going to know somebody within our household. So again, I think we just need more centres and to be able to offer those services for more people. Because as well, if we can get things early enough, we can help people, definitely help more people, and help more people mentally through things, and get through this and have a lovely life. You know,
Yes,
I think that's the main thing, really. You know, you don't want people on their own as well. If people are on their own, it helps bring community together, and I think that's really the key.
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, thank you
don't
all.
have to be alone to feel isolated. Sorry, just
No, that's important.
point. And
Yep.
coming together as a group, community, it really does make a difference.
Yeah.
So thank you for having us today.
Yeah, no, thank you very much.
No, well, like I was just about to say, thank you for sharing. Yeah, I've really appreciated this conversation. It's wonderful to hear the amazing work you do here at Helen Rollason. So thank you so much, and personally thank you. And if anyone has been watching or listening to this conversation, just one last time, remind us where we can find you, where we can offer our support.
So you can look us up online, so www.helenrollason.org.uk, where we have all of our services. We've got a support centre in Hatfield Peveril on the street, where you can drop in and you can call. We've also got a support centre in Harlow Ledge Zone. Again, you can drop in or you can call to that centre. So all of our services, are accessible at those centres.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
And if anyone was watching or listening to this conversation, thank you for joining us. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.